watching an SEO Content Machine Next changelog video covering all the new features and bug fixes introduced in September of 2019. Firstly, let's go over some of the new features that have been added this month. The first one is you can now filter URLs visually, and currently that's this button here that says filter URLs. So when you click on that, what it's going to do is bring up the URL filtering dialog box, and it's going to take the keyword and your settings from your current article task. So the first thing you want to do is retrieve your URLs so you can get a preview of what kind of URLs are found when you do the Google search for your keyword. So once the URL filtering box has finished finding your URLs, it displays in this handy little table here, and you can change the filtering in real time to get a good preview of what's going to do. So by default, you can limit the number of URLs you want to use, so that goes up to 100. You can also filter out URLs that you don't want by putting in the word in the ignore words box. So for example, if I don't want the word green to appear in any of the URLs, it's going to mark them off. Another way of using it is, for example, some websites are going to provide you relevant content, such as YouTube. You could type it in here. I see this says CD Japan. That's probably not related to anything to do with green tea, so I can put that there, and then we can get a good visual overview of what URLs are being crossed off and what URLs can be used. For example, I don't want Google in that either. I can do that, and it's going to remove it when it runs a task. And of course, I'm going to only use the top 25 most relevant sites. So once I'm happy with my filtering, all I have to do is close the box. Now to add further to that, if we go to the Find URL tool, I'm going to open up a previous tool. We see it's the same kind of UI as at the very top. We can input our keywords and then select what countries we want. Moving on to the next feature, inside links, and we add a new link. If we go down to the generic link text variations, there's been a slight change to that. So now it's only going to take 25 random generic link text anchors. Going back out to the list of tasks, all your tasks are going to be sorted by the last time that it was run. You can also always click on table headers to manually sort your content. Another change that I've added is if you create a whole bunch of tasks, when you scroll, you notice now that the table headers are fixed, so you can always see them. Previously, when you scrolled, this part would scroll out of view and you couldn't see it anymore. Another new change that was added was you'll notice that the file output folder setting is no longer visible. The reason why is under file settings, your save location is by default going to use the macro project folder. You no longer need to set where you're going to save your article files, and what that means is once you finish running a task, you just click on this open save article button, and it's going to go directly and navigate to where your articles have been created. Another benefit of using a macro is if you ever need to reinstall SEO Content Machine Next on a new computer, you don't have to worry about double checking the save file location that it exists. Another fix that was added to the article creator is whenever you select a content type, it turned out if you ever migrated computers and copied and pasted the SEM database onto a new computer, if you ever had to reopen or run a task, it didn't save the template that it last used. Now in the newest fix, this setting is going to stick. For those that are using insert questions and answers, this next one is for users insert questions and answers module. I've gone through the answers and I've cleaned them up a little bit, so it's removing date and unwanted dots and unwanted text from it, so you're going to get a cleaner piece of content. Here's a change for the article downloader now. By default, it used to only return plain text. However, now it's going to return the full HTML of any content it finds. That includes attributes. So if you had a CSS selector with A, which is selecting anchor tags, it's actually going to return your anchor tags with the href that was found on page. We've added a read changes menu item now. Here's an interesting bug fix for those of you who were trying to look at the tutorial videos. Previously, if you clicked on these links, it would open up in SEO Content Machine Next, and the video would not be viewable. Instead, now If you click on these links, it's going to open in your default browser so the video loads correctly. There was a bug related to how the version numbers were generated and compared. If you're on an older version and you haven't updated, you can always go online to SEO Content Machine /next. Here's a change that's been made to various windows and boxes across the program. The best way to demonstrate this is go to preview article. This text box now is covering the full height of the program where previously it didn't. On a big file, it's going to add a scroll bar on the right hand side here instead of onto the main window. I have fixed the appearance of scroll bars in other areas as well. For example, if you go to edit template, you notice that you can scroll on the right hand side the template tags, and this is not going to scroll the entire UI. Finally, before I leave you in this video, I just want to mention that there has been a performance update to the newest versions of SEO Content Machine Next. If you're one of the people running hundreds of tasks, you may notice that this grid here and app logs would refresh slowly. However, I've fixed that so that everything should update and should refresh more smoothly. Thank you for checking out this changelog video. If you want to read the full change list, I haven't covered everything on the list. I would suggest you go to the read changes box here. Otherwise, we have posted the full change list online on our blog. Thank you.